Hey everyone, this is Jason here at Grand Slam, and this is your Grand Slam weekly picks, where I talk about some new books that came out. It's a big week, and there's a lot of books that I've just been coming across my table. I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta read that, I gotta read this. You have to read this. Let's get going. Let's talk about it. First off, 3 Star Wars books this week. Number 1, Princess Leia issue 4. Princess Leia's doing stuff. She's flying around the galaxy. She's trying to preserve all the Radiant culture after it got blown up by the Death Star, and there's lots of hijinks going on. Beautiful art by both the Dodsons, fan favorites. Drawing Princess Leia, it's a lot of fun. If you like seeing Princess Leia running around shooting stuff, it's a great time. Darth Vader, my personal favorite Star Wars book right now. Well written, great art. I mean, look at this cover. Looks like the Emperor is going to get involved this week. I'm excited. You kind of get to learn about what he's plotting. The Sith are plotting. They're kind of like trying to outmaneuver each other. Obviously, Darth Vader's making his plans. Lots of fun stuff. I like, who doesn't like bad guys? And of course, we got Luke Skywalker versus who could it be with this retinol? Pew, pew, pew. That's right, Boba Fett versus Luke Skywalker this week in Star Wars. The art's getting superb just as Cassidy's leaving. His anatomy, his reconstruction of how Luke and Leia and Han all look is superb. So excited about this title right now. Big shocker in this book. It's going to break the internet in half. I didn't tear that in half. All right, on to some more Marvel stuff here. This is Groot number 1. Groot, he's a tree. He doesn't really say much. He just says, I'm Groot. I'm just going to assume that he never says anything in this comic, and he just says, I'm Groot a lot. Who knows? I'm interested to see how this is going to go. It should be a good one, but there's so many books about the Guardians of the Galaxy now. They're really trying to push them, so I'm looking forward to reading it. And, of course, I can't get through a thing with talking about the final run of Bendis's on the all-new X-Men. Lots of great stuff here. I assume sometimes this cover may or may not have something to do with what's going on in the book. I'm super excited to read this as we're winding down through the Secret Wars. All right, DC Comics, they've just done a crazy thing, too. They did their convergence. And so there's all sorts of new number 1 titles. So this is like Omega Man, Midnighter, Bizarro. Bizarro looks like a funny book, like it's kind of got, funny art in there. So, if this is kind of the new wave, you'll look on here, it doesn't say the new 52 anymore. This is DCU, as in you. So they're trying to do some interesting stuff here. That's what they're setting up. And of course, for the books that were popular before, like Batman, let's talk about Action Comics. So these ones that say 41, think of that as a number 1. That's the beginning of a new volume. So it's like a whole new volume. This is Action Comics with Superman. This is beginning a storyline called Truth, which is supposed to be going between Action Comics and Superman. And I've heard some really good things about this. The art looks great. It's written by Greg Pak with art by Aaron Cooter. I would definitely highly recommend this book if you're looking to try something out after the Convergence story. Superman's one of them because, his secret identity has been revealed. And, of course, the other book that they kind of teased during Divergence was Justice League. This is called The Dark Side War. They're trying to kill Darkseid. Cool art. It's probably just a big epic story. Probably something more in lines with what they wanted to do during their big event. Not much for indie stuff this week. I just got to give a shout out to Autumnland's Tooth and Claw. I love this book. If you haven't read any of these issues yet, please check it out. There'll be a trade coming out very soon. Can't recommend this anymore. It's not for everybody. It's not family friendly, but man, it is just a cool book with, animal people and a guy who, curses a lot and, murders things. We also have a new book called Airboy. I don't know anything about it. This is one of our new Image books this week. Looks like a superhero. It looks like an ex-superhero type of story. There's a guy drinking a lot. I don't know. Airboy, maybe he was a superhero. He had to retire. That's just a guess. Tune in next time. Maybe I talk about that book. So last but not least, I wanted to leave you with another Marvel book. Big graphic novel came out. My big pop here. Thanos, the Infinity Relativity. There was a book of this last year by Thanos that came out that I really enjoyed. And then they did a mini series. It was like Hulk and Thanos. And now, boom, we're getting this one here. If you haven't read anything by Jim Starlin, he is a master of comic books, especially of the modern cosmic books. So if you like Guardians of the Galaxy and you like all this crazy space stuff going on with Infinity Gauntlets and aliens, and you got Warlock, even on the back you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy. So he's kind of he's an old school guy with the new school stuff, and he's just writing these really cool graphic novels that are kind of outside. They're in the continuity, but they're outside. They kind of work in his own realm. So Jim Starlin, my hat's off to you. I've really enjoyed learning and reading your books this whole year. So that went a little longer than I would have liked, but once again, if you haven't been watching these lately, Secret Wars, I'm saving for a whole nother video. You're going to have to wait to find out my thoughts, and I've read all those, so I'll talk about those extensively. So thanks for tuning in. That's the first week of June. Lots of great comic books coming out. I have so many I want to share with you and talk about. Please come by the store at 1730 West Eisenhower or our Greeley store on 11th Avenue and US 34 West. And thanks for tuning in. I'm out.